What's going on, folks? Is it raining a lot where you're at? It is here. Is your local waters all muddied up, brown, yoo-hoo colored, nasty? A lot of our major lakes that are usually more on the clear side, they're all swamped right now. Now, I grew up here in northwest Georgia near the headwaters of the Coosa. I'm used to fishing brown water. The backwater swamps that I grew up fishing, they're always brown. It doesn't matter. Very rarely are you going to see it get anything other than a light brown or a dark green. Visibility is never like it is when you go to one of the heavier or one of the bigger impoundments where sometimes, you got 6-8 foot of visibility. That's about unheard of around here. So I grew up fishing that kind of stuff. It was actually a big learning experience when I ventured off and started going to larger lakes that the water was green, but you could see 5-6 foot. I had to totally readapt and relearn how to fish that kind of water. So, if you're going to get into muddy water fishing, if it's a lake where the fish can run from the mud, of course they're going to. If they can't, they're going to get tight to structure. They're going to move up shallow. They're going to get tight to structure they can't see. It's no different than us humans getting out in the fog. Your world becomes very small. You can't see. You can't orientate where you're at. Fish aren't much different. Now, they can see to a certain degree in that water, but, it makes their world smaller. If it's cold water, the sun's not going to penetrate very deep. They're going to move up for the warmth, and they're going to move up to orientate with something, whatever it may be. It could be a boat dock. It could be a lay down. It could be a big old pile of rocks that are just a few feet under the surface. I'm standing next to this boat, even if it's kind of dark. I can feel the boat. I know where I'm at. Not out wandering around in the abyss. So you're going to have to adapt your tactics to that. You need to throw something they can see and find. Now that goes back to, for instance, my most productive thing, or my go-to, spinnerbait. White and chartreuse spinnerbait, Colorado blade, preferably a gold one. Gold seems to work in nasty water, does it not? It creates a big thump. It slows the bait down so you can fish it slower. You do need a little bit slower because if you get their attention, they need to be able to find it. You don't want to go burning it past them in swamp water. You may have a fish trailing it and he couldn't find it. The lateral lines are telling them there's a disturbance in the water over here, but I couldn't find it. I mean, if I can run around out in the fog or the dark and make noise, and you probably not going to be able to run out and play tag and touch me. Keep that in mind. But a good spinnerbait, white chartreuse, Colorado blades, you can even go dark. You throw a black spinnerbait, a dark blue one. Just something that they can pick up on when they hone in, because when they're honing in on it, they can't see as far as they used to, and they're going to see a silhouette or they're going to see it. They need to be able to key into it, and then they can come strike it. Same thing, throw a chatterbait. Chatterbait. Lots of disturbance. Clickety clankety, water vibrating. Really cool color. They'll be able to track that down. Some of your other options. If you are going to pitch a jig up in shallow water or even out a little deeper, working a piece of structure you think fish have set up on. Black and blue is always true. You've heard that. This one has rattles on it. You probably can't hear them. You might be able to. They're very faint. In the water, that's going to be a tick, 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 tick. That's something they can hear, feel, something they can see to hone in on. Green pumpkin. The old green pumpkin will always get you something, right? You put a good trailer on that. This one does not have a rattle. But with a good trailer and the skirt, it still displaces the water. It still makes a ruckus. There's a disturbance. That's what the fish is going to look for. Personally, I'm going to go probably with a spinnerbait. You can run a square bill, something like that, that's a shallow runner. I would get one that maybe, you know, a lot of times this year everybody's talking about flat side, small. I would get something that's kind of fat that wobbles a lot, so it's not going to move a great distance in the water. It's going to create a disturbance as it slowly comes, you know, meandering, plowing through the water there. They got to be able to find it to bite it. Your muddy water causes you to, your electronics, you need to know how deep the water is so you don't, you know, bump up on something. As far as looking around, they're not going to be that useful to you at this point. I was used to fishing without such. We just knew how deep the water was. We used tried and true, the old school tactics of looking at something. If there's a tree laid down in the water, you're going to have to get your aim down. When you throw that spinnerbait, and the reason I like spinnerbait, you can throw it in a tree and bang it right through a tree. Chatterbait, not so much. You have to start monkeying with the trailer, putting a flat trailer on it and hope that when it comes across the log that it rights itself. Yeah, good luck. The old school spinnerbait, bang that thing in a tree, run it all through the limbs and come back. That'll generate strikes. If you're pitching a jig, you're going to have to put it basically right on them. It's going to improve your casting skills quite a bit, or your pitching skills, depending on how you're getting to it. If there's rocks, I mean, if it's a boat dock, they're going to be stuck probably right around one of the posts, cross member, something they can relate with. They may not go 3-4 foot to get a bait. So you're going to have to hit each and every one of them. And depending on how that dock's set up, you're going to have to view each individual dock is always unique. Some people, they're always on this back corner, they're always here. That may be true in certain things, but depending on how the water comes up to it, if there's current, there's a lot of factors to put in there. But muddy water baits, something that's slow, makes a ruckus, and something that's either a bright color or a dark color that they can track down when they run up on it. They're not going to have time to study on it like they do when you got 4-6 foot visibility. This new forward facing sonar that we all have, how many times do you watch fish checking your bait out? You even try to stop it, let it fall? No, they just looking at it. Something cool in the water. Fish don't think like we do. All they see is something coming by and they're curious. What is that? Do I eat it? Do I look at it? Is it going to attack me? Who knows what's going through their mind? But it's not what's going through ours. So keep all those things, kind of put them in your toolbox, your tool bag, if you will. Don't be scared to fish muddy water. I did it all my life. You can catch fish. You can catch big fish in there. You just got to get your aim down and pick something that they can find. Other than that, have a great day and go fish.